I'm David Burke. This is the Lewis Amnesty Group, and we are pleased tonight to have with us Najwan Haddad, who's going to, she's from the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign, based in Eastbourne, and she was recently in Gaza just before the recent fighting there, but her son has gone over more recently to visit family, and we're lucky to have her to give us an update on what's been going on there. And I'll give the floor to Najwan.
Thank you very much. I'm Najwan. I'm from Gaza. I was born in Gaza. I left Gaza 18 years ago, so big change for me. I've been on these 18 years. I visited Gaza only 3 times. One of them was illegal through the tunnels because there was no borders at that time. It's just I want to see my parents at that time. So I experienced it all when Israeli was on the border, and then when it is Hamas time, I was there. And then when it was the revolution in Egypt, and then we have the tunnels we can go through. It's just 100-meter across, of course, under the ground. And this year I experienced it differently because we have a different government in Egypt. And you know, in Gaza, we can't access Gaza unless we go through Egypt. Of course, Israel, no way to go through Israel. So the new government in Egypt is making it as difficult as they can for Palestinians to go to Gaza. And you are not allowed to go to Gaza unless you are born in Gaza and you have your own ID, Gaza ID. So on February, I went there for about 20 days. It was family visit, basically. And then you can start with the airport. The airport wasn't too bad. So if my son is 18, from 18 to 40 years old, he can't go freely through Egypt. He needs to be taken from the airport directly to the border by police, Egyptian police. So they will keep them in the airport, collect number of similar age group, and then take them by bus, monitored by the police, direct to the border and to Gaza through the border. But luckily, my son has his British passport, so he was with me. I have Palestinian passport, gladly. So we went through Cairo, and then when you reach to Sinai, I think it's the same name in English, Sinai, the desert. There start the how can I say it, the humiliation system, how to humiliate Palestinians. So from the first checkpoint, you have to bring all your stuff down to the floor with the shouting, screaming, come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You don't know what they are looking for. All your stuff, all your bags, just everywhere. And then you have just seconds to put your things back again to the luggage, put them in the car, and all of this with intense scream, shouting, humiliation, and bad words. You can imagine how it is. After we go through this stage, it's like every couple of kilometers there is another checkpoint and another checkpoints. So there is about a total of 5 main checkpoints, and there is more like 20 another checkpoints, a smaller one, just to check your ID without any search. We reached the border, the Egyptian border. You sit there, you don't know what you are waiting for. You're just sitting there for hours and hours and hours. So we entered that place on 3 o'clock in the evening. They let us out 10 o'clock in the night time. So from 3 till 10, we're just sitting there. We don't know why we are sitting. You're sitting there waiting for your name to be called so they can let you into Gaza. Luckily, we went through. Some people, they sleep on the road for days. So everyone was so happy that we haven't slept outside the border or on the so it was, as they say, easy and we are very lucky to enter in the same day. Now, on Gaza, my last visit was 10 years ago. So you can imagine it was 2011, my last visit there. It was 10 days, quick one. And after that, it happened the 2014 war. And then a few more small wars, you can say it, but the 2014 was the major one, where everything was destroyed in Gaza. So what I've noticed when I was there, the first day, the look of the people is different. So the shape of the people. So I visited my neighborhood. This is where I've been brought up. This is where I played on my childhood. This is my neighbors, my friends, same age as me. But you can imagine they are much older than me. I can say that. They look much, much older than me. So if let's say he's 30, he would look 45. And this is all because of the pressure of poverty and no water, no electricity. Electricity is just 4-6 hours maximum they have access to. Otherwise, they need to organize different ways of supplying themselves with electricity if they have the money to do so. Of course, there is, it's been now a long time, so I'm just bringing the memories back again. The poverty there is unbelievable. I've never imagined that they will reach this level of not having food in your table in Gaza. So when I left Gaza, there was poor people, but still they can manage to have their food in their table. But this visit, there is no middle class at all poor. It's either poor or rich people who are working in the government. And this is a small percentage, so I can't say like there is maybe 5% of the population have the money and the ability to live decent life, and the rest they struggle to have food in their table. And when I'm saying, I really find it hard to say that even some people, they can't find za'atar. You know how basic is za'atar in Palestine? Za'atar and bread for lunch, for Friday lunch. So it's like Sunday roast here. They have Friday. So even za'atar and bread was hard for some of the families in my neighborhood. So I'm talking about our neighbors, my neighbors in the neighborhood where my family lives. So it's just keep you thinking how they manage the children who are growing, how is their mental health will be. And then again, it do affect on the death age. I've noticed when I went to the graveyard to visit my father's grave, I was looking at the age of people who already passed away. I can say 35, 39, 50, and this is very young age to die on. Hardly you can see 60, 65, 70. It's very rare to see this number on the graves, and I'm sorry to say this. So, and this is tell you all about the quality of life they are living in. Again, there is the drug issue now in Gaza. It is extremely everywhere. Drugs, and of course they can't have the privilege of buying expensive drugs, so it's all these really poor, let's say poor quality drugs that affect faster than the other drugs. So if you know what I mean. So it's all, you can't, even the names I can't say it. So mainly it is tablets, what is it, tramadol, these things, and of course it goes through Israel, so it is system from Israel to bring it to Gaza. So at one stage, and this is what I've been told, that tramadol was cheaper than buying Panadol. So if you want to buy a tramadol, it work cheaper than buying Panadol. One more thing I want to say about, so when I was there was a hope of having election and coming out of this siege, because if there is election, there will be hope that Fatah will come back again and Abbas will come again, and at least they will have this breathe after 16 years of blockade, siege. Of course, after I left, maybe you heard the news that there will be no election for different reasons from Abbas' view, and Israel didn't want to do it in Jerusalem. Hamas, they disagreed on some of the points. And who's losing at the end is just the children of Gaza, whereas no one is looking at that side of the issue. The people in Gaza can't live anymore. So they reached the point of they can't live anymore. Everyone want to leave Gaza. All the young men and women even now they want to go to leave Gaza. Anyone have the chance to go to Turkey as a first step to go to Europe. So they will take it step by step. First, they need to come out of Gaza, and they pay thousands of dollars to do so, to get out of the border for Egypt, and then move to Turkey, live there for a couple of years until they have the chance to move to Europe. And it is in a fast track now that even the professionals like doctors, even my brother is a doctor and he left Gaza because he can't cope anymore. He have family, he have children need to feed, and he take his salary. It works every 50 days, not every 30 days, half a salary. So he worked for 50 days to have half of his salary. And it's like, I would say, it's like 200 pounds for 50 days you need to live in. So what I can say at this point, there is no hope in Gaza. Even the slight hope they have about the election, they lost it now. And there is we can't see any solution because of the leadership we have now. Hamas, Abbas, and then we have the outside, Egypt, Israel. So we have from inside and outside, we have people fighting against the people of Gaza, against the will of living for the people of Gaza. So even the government now in Gaza, they are corrupt. The drugs is funded by them some way how, because you can't have control over a place. No one can speak freely in Gaza. You have control over speech. You have control over guns. You have control all over everything except drugs, except electricity, so you would understand that they have hands as a government. Maybe they're earning money, they're funding themselves, their activities. I don't have that depth of knowing what is happening with this issue, but it is a very serious issue, the drugs in Gaza, very, very serious, that it is scary for families to live and to feel safe for your children. I don't know. That's all what I have to say. Of course, coming out of Gaza is a different story. It's also a long day from 6 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock in the evening process. And by the way, the distance between Cairo and Gaza is only 4 hours drive in a normal day, in a normal life. But sometimes it takes 3 days for people to reach from Cairo to Gaza. That's it. That's what I can remember. It always breaks my heart to speak about my people, but this is what the reality that they are in this state. It's really upsetting for me to think even about it, because you feel you have nothing in your hand to do. You can't do anything about it. We can support them financially, a little bit by little bit, but it doesn't solve the problem.
David, I think you're on mute. Are you? I think you're.
Yep, there we go. No, I was just saying, thank you. You know, it obviously is difficult to speak about it, but it's important that you do, and we appreciate you coming and telling us about that. Are you okay to answer some questions? I was going to open the floor to some questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for now?
By the way, by all these difficulties I said about Gaza, my son insisted to go to do his summer holiday in Gaza.
Wow.
Even all with this struggle, he wants his family there, and he's there. Bless him. Hopefully, that next week he will become safe.
Are there any questions?
Yeah.
Anne?
Naj, it's lovely to see you, and it was really very emotional, actually. So my question is, how difficult is it for people to raise money to leave when I'm sure unemployment is very high? So how difficult is it?
To raise money to leave Gaza, you mean? Well, I would say they will borrow money. If they have a small land, they will sell it. We reached this stage. So before that, we heard this story about Egyptian people leaving Egypt because of poverty, and in Gaza it's out of character for us to leave our country. But now people do whatever they can to come out of Gaza.
Yeah.
Some of them, they can hardly manage to have the ticket, the money for the ticket and the trip. And then when they reach Turkey, they have no money to live. So they live in the street until they find a job and work to work. So even when they go to Turkey, they don't have a place to go to or someone to see there. They're just risking it all by just coming out of Gaza first as a first step, and then life will be open wide for them. This is the picture they have it now in their head.
And can I just ask, how difficult was it for you to experience all this? I mean, what impact has it had on you?
Well, for me, I think for me it's a bit different because I was going there to see my mom and the rest of my family who didn't pass away. And because of my brother passed, funeral was a few months before that, so we were focusing more on the family side of the thing. So it was hard for me in a different way, just to be honest. It's just not seeing my father there, not seeing my brother. And this is again has to do with the siege. So 10 years not seeing your family. Visiting them, your loved one passed away without seeing them, without saying goodbye to them. It's really it leaves mark without any.
Yeah, thank you.
Could I just make
Nick? Oh, sorry, I saw Nick first, so I'm gonna go for Nick here.
Now, as you were talking about the young people, can you say a little bit more about their state of mind? Have they got any hope for the future? Is there a lot of mental health issues there?
There is, of course, there is no help for even, it's a culture thing. Even if they have mental health issues, they won't go and report it. Even the family, if they notice that there is something wrong with their son or daughter, they won't go and say it to anyone. They won't go to seek help from the doctors because of the culture view of having mental health issues. It's still very conservative society, and it's a shame. So he will be stamped as shamed if he has any issues in this way. Drugs, there is no support for people who want to be treated from drugs, because also again he will be stamped as shamed for the rest of his life, and maybe he will never find a wife to marry, or his children after that, even if he get married, his children will be stand as the son of drug dealer or whatever. So they don't find help even if they want to, because of the lack of the facility and the abilities in Gaza. There is no high professionals on mental health issues like doctor or can't say the words to help people like with mental issues. And again, it's a society playing against anyone want to express his issues.
Thank you.
Duncan, you had a question.
Yeah, well, it's not really a question, it's just like an observation really, in that, and hopefully words of encouragement in that, you know, I can understand, having been to Gaza and witnessed it at first hand, and, you know, after the 14 years of blockade, it is a horrendous situation. But I just wanted to say that, you know, after the recent bombardment of Gaza in May, I think it has led to a massive sea change in attitudes, basically within the Western world, in Britain, Europe, and in America especially. And more people are basically the sort of the propaganda that Israel puts out, is no longer stands. People can see through it, basically. I mean, the marches in London, where there was more than sort of 200,000 people marching. There's massive marches all over America. Social media, there was like an explosion of support and solidarity, especially on social media, and particularly Jewish voices in America. Jewish Voice of Peace, If Not Now, Bend the Arc. All these Jewish organizations are coming out very strongly. These are progressive Jewish organizations coming out very strongly, against the propaganda that's come out, and trying to build solidarity with Black Lives Matter. So I think internationally there's a sea change going on, and I just wanted to make those points and hopefully give words of encouragement that things aren't the same. I mean, Israel is building this apartheid system, which is becoming more and more apparent, and from my point of view, I'm a member of the Israeli Committee Against House Demolitions, and we also support the One Democratic State campaign to say that basically Israel has destroyed the opportunity for two states, and now the only potential solution would be a one state led by Palestinians, and it would need a decolonization of Israel to create a secular state for both Jewish and Palestinian people. That would be a long-term goal, a Palestinian-led movement. I'd be interested to hear, Naj, what your attitude, what your view of that would be.
I think if I wanted to talk as a Gaza people, how they look at our actions and what we are doing, I would laugh. So their first reaction is just laughing, because they can't see anything changing in their daily life basis. So what is important for me as a mother is just to secure food for my children, secure electricity, water, safe water, my salary, my basic daily life things I need to do. So all what we are saying does not affect on their hopes. So they won't go, yes, we have all of the political support from this group or that group or this group, as long as we still way behind of affecting on the policies from the all the leaders. So if we can say the leaders of the world, still we are in this point, but they are still way behind us of looking the way we are looking at this problem. So I'm sorry to say this, but if I want to say it as how people of Gaza are looking at our activities, they have, they don't take it in consideration as it will do something for them. It doesn't give them any hope, unfortunately. This is how hopeless they are now.
Yeah, I understand.
Do we have any other questions? I have a question. I'm often struck. I don't know nearly enough about these issues because I just don't. But I'm often struck by the extent to which, politics is the internal politics matter, and we tend to talk in the big terms of big countries and big concepts. But somebody like Benjamin Netanyahu, I know, especially as being an American, it's like it makes a difference who your leader is. My God, he's like Trump, and Trump made a big difference. And if your country is run by Trump, then everything is going to change, and everything is going to move in a particular direction. And I suppose so one question I have is about the change in Israeli leadership, about the change in American leadership. Do you see any hope there? I suppose the other question is, what about Hamas? Because we often, I mean, Israel is certainly to blame for the blockade, but it also sounds like you're saying, to play devil's advocate. What about Hamas? We never protest Hamas, but it sounds like they're worth protesting as well. Or is that just a false equivalence? If people in the West think of Hamas, how should we think of them? I'm interested in your opinion of all the different political groups at play.
For Israel, there is no difference between right or left when they are in power. The only difference is in their own interior policies. That's it. With the case between Palestine and Israel, the conflict or the problems we have, there is no difference between left or right or extreme right, or it will be more worse. It is worse, but with the prime minister we have now, it will be more worse than Netanyahu. So Netanyahu will be
really
better choice between the two devils. Let's say it in this way.
Right.
For America will change the leadership in America. It do affect slowing down the aggressive policies from Israel. So we saw this when we have Trump, as you said. Benjamin Netanyahu was just like running, doing whatever he wants without anyone saying to him stop or slow down or hold on. You need to talk before doing anything. Whereas with this president, he will do, but in a very low profile and less speed of changing the reality and taking lands and taking homes from people and all of the things they do in West Bank and in Jerusalem and in Gaza as well. Regarding Hamas, I would say Hamas is one of us, one of the Gaza people. They have their own policy. It's like the Conservative and the Labour Party. We have two parties. We have Hamas. We have Hamas policy is just we need to fight to have our rights. I'm myself, I'm Fatih supporter, so I don't support Hamas. But saying Hamas is being elected in 2006 by the majority of the Palestinian people, no one respected this result of the election, and that's why we started. So they want free election, but this election won't be free unless you choose the side we want. If you choose the opposite side we want, it's not free anymore. So for Hamas, it's just a basic calculation for them. We want our land back. We have the right to have our land back. We don't agree on Oslo. I don't want to comment in this part.
Okay, no, that's all right. That's okay. And don't feel you have to. I mean, my God, you don't have to represent anybody
just,
or anything.
For me,
majority of opinion anywhere.
For me, my origin is from Jaffa, so my land, my grandfather land is from Jaffa, so I can't forget that and say, okay, we don't want our land on which is called Israel now. So, in my view, it's a very big thing to say. Okay, we will accept only the West Bank and Gaza, and we deal with it because there is rights for me, for my grandfather, to return have our lands back again, have our home back again. So it's again back, it goes to the right of return for the people of the Palestinian people who used to live in Palestine on the lands where is in 1984, 48, I mean, sorry. So regarding Hamas, it's just as simple as that. They are Palestinians. They are, my cousin is Hamas. We are Fatah. So it's just, they are from Gaza. We can't just pretend that they are aliens coming to Gaza from nowhere.
Right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Nick, you're raising your hand.
Just thought, can you say anything about how COVID has affected Gaza? And I know things may have changed a bit, but up to then, were there many people who had been vaccinated when you were there?
When I was there, again, it's the culture thing. And we're not going to take the vaccine because it's some kind of mystery for them. There is no much of knowledge or understanding for the whole thing. And they take precautions from Corona, but not the vaccine at that time. But after that, people are more aware and it is more available now. If, let's say, not available for everyone, but it becomes more available because I think United Arab Emirates sent some vaccines to Gaza so they can use it. And about the vaccine, Israel sent to the West Bank expired vaccines to be used in there. So I think there is more people are vaccinated now, but there is, I would say my cousin passed away from COVID recently. My other cousin now is in hospital. I think this has to do also again to the health problem they have. When it hit them bad.
Sorry about your relations. It must be so. I know the healthcare is struggling, isn't it? There's not much. Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right. Well, Adrian. You're on mute though.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're on mute.
No, I thought I'm unmuted now, am I?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, thank you. I just wanted to say, Najwan, that thank you very much for your very honest portrayal and sharing it with us. It mustn't have been easy to say that. And from the picture you paint, it does feel, I get a message that things are not rather hopeless. That's what the message I get from you in regard to Gaza.
Yeah. This is as simple as that. No hope.
Yeah, right.
Well, I suppose that does raise a question. If as a group, if people are concerned about this, is there, in your mind, are there, what would be the top 3 things that people could do from here, given that we're a long way away to make any impact?
I think we can do again pressing on Israel to lift the blockade or to ease it at least, the free movement, because the people are traveling also. We don't forget that people need for healthcare, urgent surgeries that they can't be done in Gaza because of the lack of equipments and professionals who can do the surgeries. So we still need to focus on the reason for all of this misery. It is the blockade. So this is the reason. And who's playing part on this blockade is mainly Israel. And then we have who's working with Israel is Egypt and the rest of the Arab countries, UAE, Saudi Arabia. All of these countries is just colonized against this small place and on earth. It's just it is only 12 kilometer width and 45 kilometer length. So it's just a small area on this earth, and everyone is just seems to be working against these people who are living there. So first of all, we just need to keep our support and pressure on Israel to lift the blockade, and maybe the government in the UK, of course, we need to press there first, to press on the Israelis to lift the blockade. Of course, financial help is much needed, and it's just we need to remove the reason. Actually, that's it. The reason is just the occupation.
I'm not sure how we do that in this meeting, but
There's different ways.
right.
There's the Gazayan way, which seems a bit working, and there is our way here in England by political support and political lobbying against Israeli policies and occupation.
All right. If nobody has any more questions, I'm going to call for a short break, and then we'll come back and do the business talk.
I have to thank everyone for listening to me. I'm sorry if I made it long for you, everyone. And then I have to come out of the meeting because of the children.
Yes.
I did put my little one on the bath with her brother just to keep her busy, not come to me.
Well, Naj, thank you very much for speaking to us. Everybody, a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.